This is the DocSafe Fireproof File Organizer with lock. I've been using this for a while now, so I figured I'd share some thoughts. I started using it because my important papers were spread across several drawers and folders. Birth certificates were in one place, insurance papers were somewhere else, and I kept forgetting where I had put old tax records. I wanted one case that could hold everything without becoming another messy storage box. The case has a hard shell, and it holds its shape well when I move it around. It does not feel like a steel safe, and I would not expect it to handle heavy debris falling on it. Still, it feels more structured than the soft fire-resistant document bags I have used before. Those bags tended to bend and sag once I filled them. This one stays upright and is easier to place on a shelf or inside a closet. The outside has a smooth silicone-coated surface. I was a little concerned about fiberglass because some older fire-resistant bags can feel itchy. I have handled this case many times, and I have not had that problem. It also does not collect as much dust or pet hair as the fabric cases I have seen. I still wipe it down occasionally, but it stays fairly clean during normal use. Inside, there is a 13-pocket accordion folder. This is the part one used the most. I separated my documents into simple groups, such as home records, medical papers, insurance documents, tax files, and personal certificates. The color tabs make it easier to find what I need without pulling out every sheet. The accordion section works well with standard letter-size papers. I can fit a useful amount in each pocket, but I try not to overfill it. When I packed too many thick documents into one section, the folder became harder to close neatly. The case has decent depth, but it still has limits. It is better for organized records than large stacks of old paperwork. There are also smaller storage areas for passports, cards, USB drives, and pens. I keep digital copies of some important files on a USB drive, so having a dedicated slot is helpful. I also like keeping passports in the mesh pockets because I can see them right away. Before this, I stored those smaller items in envelopes, and they were easy to overlook. There's room for a laptop as well. A slim laptop fits without much trouble, though adding one reduces the space available for thick folders. I usually treat the laptop section as an optional space rather than something I use every day. If I know I need to carry my computer and documents together, it works. At home, I prefer to leave that area open so the papers are not compressed. The combination lock was simple to set up. I followed the included instructions, chose a 3-digit code, and tested it several times before locking everything inside. The dials are small, but I can turn them without much trouble. The lock is useful for basic privacy. It can keep children, guests, or other people in the house from opening the case casually. I would not treat the lock as protection against someone determined to break into it. This is still a portable document case, not a heavy security safe. The lock gives me more privacy than an ordinary zipper, and that is how I think about it. The 2 zipper pulls connect with the lock. They move smoothly during normal use, although the corners require a little more care when the case is full. I guide the zipper around the edge instead of pulling hard. That seems to help keep the track lined up. The top handle makes the case easy to grab and carry. It can get fairly heavy after I add a laptop and several folders, but the handle has stayed comfortable enough for short trips. I mainly keep the case in one place and carry it only when I need to update documents or move it to another room. One of my main concerns before using it was the fire-resistant claim. The case uses layered fire-resistant materials, and the material has a UL94 V0 flame retardant rating. That rating is useful information, but it does not mean the papers inside are guaranteed to survive every house fire. Paper can still be damaged by heat that builds up over time. A portable case like this is not the same as a tested steel fire safe with thick insulation. I see it as extra protection from brief flame contact, heat, smoke, water spray, and spills. I do not see it as a reason to stop keeping digital backups. The water resistance gives me some extra reassurance. I tested the outside with a small amount of water, and the drops stayed on the surface instead of soaking in. I wiped it dry afterward, and the papers inside remained dry. I did not submerge it, and I would not assume it is waterproof under deep water. For a spilled drink or water spray, the outer material and covered zipper offer more protection than a basic cardboard file box. Compared with a regular accordion folder, this is heavier and takes up more room. It also takes longer to open because I have to enter the combination and unzip the case. In return, I get a firmer shell, one place for different types of records, and some protection from heat and water. That trade-off has made sense for the way I use it. I did notice that the organizer can become bulky when every pocket is filled. It is portable, but it is not something I would want to carry around all day. I also wish the lock dials were a little larger. They work, but entering the code in low light can take an extra moment. This case makes the most sense for someone who wants important household records organized and ready to grab. It also works well for storing passports, property documents, insurance information, certificates, and backup drives in one location. I think it is less suitable for someone looking for serious theft protection or long-term protection during a major structural fire. I have found it useful as an organized grab-and-go case. I keep digital copies of essential records, and I would still use a steel safe for items that cannot be replaced. With those expectations, the DocSafe Fireproof File Organizer has been practical in my home and easier to manage than several separate folders. If this type of storage fits what I need, I would consider it a reasonable option. I would just keep the limits of a portable fire-resistant case in mind. If I missed anything, leave a question in the comments. Subscribe to the channel if I want to see more honest product reviews like this one. Thank you for watching.